right, setting off in the M2 Competition.
When you start pulling out the clutch, it's going to automatically start revving for you.
So I don't stall?
Here, like, and it's, see?
What?
Yeah.
That's weird.
So, like, go into first and let off the brake, and then don't touch the gas.
Whoa.
Yeah. So then just, like, let it out, and then it'll...
Like, completely?
Do it on its own. Yeah.
What the hell? So you can't really stall in this car.
Right.
That's awesome. What's the excuse of not driving manual? When they make it this easy, it's crazy.
So, little known fact, the take rate, at least for the OG M2, it might be different for the M2 Competition.
Yeah.
But the take rate for manuals was 50%.
And you know what, I've noticed something here. It's my first time driving a manual BMW, and the iDrive cursor button thing is actually kind of getting in my way. So I think, in my opinion, if you say it in a bad way, this feels kind of rubbery, this shifter. But if you say it in a good way, it's like real smooth. And at least when you go into the gates, it's very clear if you're in the gates or not. How would you rate the shifting feel?
This is like the perfect daily driver shifting feel,
I see what
in my opinion.
Yeah. Like you wouldn't fatigue from it, I think, if you do it over and over and over.
You don't get tired, and of course I sit in LA traffic in it, and I have no complaints.
Unlike a lot of like modern engines, it actually responds to your right foot.
Right.
Because a lot of the newer engines make a ton of power, but to make them respond like an NA motor, that's the tough part.
Mm-hmm.
But man, the throttle response is really nice.
Drop into third.
Oh my God. Oh. Yeah, that's when I drove the M340i, I was like, why would anybody need any more power? Mm-hmm. This is why you need more power. Oh man, that's so much fun.
Yeah, first is more fun.
Oh God, should we get on it a little bit again? Oh my God. Wow. Classic BMW smooth power delivery. No hesitation. Oh my God, the mid-range torque, man. You know what? Even with the rev matching on, there's no, like, if I rev it by myself, there's no, like, weird feeling that it's, like, actively getting in my way, actually.
Right.
Like, I can still do my own rev matching and downshifts, but obviously I could also let it do its own thing, so. And then we're riding on modified wheels, like the Volks Z40s.
Yeah, so I have Volks Z40s. They're the same width in the front and back is what's OEM. So in the front, it's 9 inches, and in the back, it's 10 inches wide.
Okay.
I have 255 in the front and 275 in the back, which is 10 millimeters bigger than stock.
Okay. And obviously, you have the Öhlins DFV suspension installed on this as well, which I think is actually probably the best, again, daily and track duty coilover.
I agree.
And then talking about mods, I know we've done something interesting with the brake setup, so can you tell us a little bit about that?
So, as everyone knows, the M2 Competition comes with 6-pot front rotors and 4-pot rear rotors. The fronts are 400 millimeters, which is huge. And you can't run like an 18-inch wheel on it if you want to, because it just doesn't fit. Additionally, people are getting rocks stuck between their brake caliper and the inside of their wheel.
Let's see. Wow. Obviously, there's a slight initial roll, like having the damper set in, but once it settles in, get on the throttle. Okay, we need to slow down. So Albert Biermann, before he left to Hyundai, to do the N brand stuff. Obviously, he was in charge of the BMW M brands. He was saying that they really paid attention to reliability of the S55, more so than a lot of the M engines. And what I found is that the S55 seems to have some issues with the crank hub.
Yeah.
And then on the B58, they changed it to a keyed hub.
Correct.
From the BMW owners or the M2 owners' perspective, is that a blown up thing or is it a real thing? And should people think about that before buying this car?
That's a good question because, you know, where are you hearing about the crank hub issue? It's at independent shops that have a convenient solution to fix it. And you're also hearing about it online. There's only two types of people who post on forums. People who really like it, you know, the car, and they want to talk about it, and the people who their only post is to complain about it. So you get very polarized opinions. So someone who spun their crank hub and has to fix it, and they're arguing with BMW over getting a new engine and things like that, you know, they're going to be posting about it online.
Right.
So you see these cases, and then, you know, you're seeing it multiple times or whatever on the forum. You're going to start thinking that, oh, you know, this is happening to all S55 engines. Does it happen? Yeah, it does. Does it happen to non-tuned engines? Yeah, occasionally. Does it happen to tuned engines, you know, more often than not? Yeah.
And then, of course, like, people just seem to love small car, big engine combination. They just feel like they get the most amount of performance, you know, for their buck.
Yeah. So this has the same wheelbase as the E46 M3. Which is seen as the last of the good BMWs.
It's very close, right? I don't know if it's exactly the same, but like we're talking like a couple of centimeters here and there, I think. But I'd have to agree with a lot of automotive journalists. I thought they were just being nice to the newer, you know, M car, but this really does feel like an older BMW. Like the steering feel, like, you know, just the way it feels like it pivots around your hips when you're going around the corners. Unfortunately, you know, we're only driving on the public roads, so I won't be able to tell how the M active differentials work, you know. But it just feels like it's got plenty of traction, even with 405 horsepower on tap. Just nothing but good things to say about this car. And I'm not saying this because you're here. Like, you know, I think you would appreciate honesty, but just fantastic. Yeah.
I mean, there are things that I don't like about the car. But the gas tank's way too small.
How big is it?
12 gallons.
12 gallons. Okay.
So when you average 15 miles per gallon,
15.
You're filling up a lot.
Okay.
So actually, I've been getting better gas mileage recently since I'm commuting, you know, freeway miles. So I'm getting 24. But when I was having a much shorter commute or you know, driving around, just messing around, yeah, it's like 14 or 15 miles per gallon. It's not great. So the other complaint would be that you can't have anything like. There definitely has to be a difference between the M3 and the M2, or even the M4 and the M2, just because of pricing, right?
Yeah.
So I have no heads-up display.
Yeah.
The dash is plastic instead of leather.
Some people say like the interior in a way is kind of low rent, but
the seats, you know, aren't as good of a leather material that.
The leather material is different.
Oh yeah. So you know, M3, M4 use merino leather, whatever.
So man.
Like, shift into second, and then bring it out to 7.5.
Oh, okay.
So you can see how, you know, it kind of drops off.
Obviously, the speed is still there. I mean, when I looked at the speedometer, I was like, I should slow down. But okay, I get what you're saying. It does feel like the car is kind of holding back a little bit.
So compared to driving, you know, an M3 and M4, there's a big difference there.
Okay.
Hello everyone, thanks for staying till the very end of the video, despite my terrible hairdo due to the pandemic situation. I thought I'd give myself a few days to reflect on the car and not come to a conclusion immediately, as you can see how much I giggled like a little girl driving the car. So what's my verdict? Well, I must admit, I'm not entirely in love with the exterior design of the car, but since that's subjective, let's discuss the hardware. If you needed a car you have to use every single day, and still want to be inspired when absolutely thrashing it, I just can't think of any car that can match this F87 in its price range. Its older brother, the M3, M4, are good, but certainly doesn't have the same steering feel, and one can argue that the engine can be tuned to match the output in a smaller, lighter package. I haven't driven the new Supra, but that has no back seats and no manual in the US, so I think cars like the Supra, Cayman, and the Jaguar F-Type are all in a different category. It's no E46, but it's also not early 2000s anymore. It gets pretty darn close to what an enthusiast would call a good feeling car, not just a fast car on paper, and its modern technology like the anti-stall feature makes this package an incredibly easy car to live with, something that you want to drive every single day. I would say that's what BMW M division strives for, and they nailed it. If you don't need the additional rear doors and can overlook the interior fluff, you'll miss out on the M3. I'd say move quickly to get your own M2 Competition. I highly recommend it.